Welcome back to the channel. Today I am online with Stefano, an outstanding player from Italy. And Stefano, it's really amazing to talk to you again after the calling where we actually met the first time in person. And yeah, let's just jump right into it and let's introduce yourself. Like, where do you come from exactly and how old are you?
Hi guys. I'm Stefano. I come from Arezzo. It's a little city near Florence, so Tuscany, Italy. And I am 35 in July, so like 1 month more or less. And yeah, I play Flesh and Blood since 2021, maybe 2 years. I played, yeah. So yeah,
All right.
it's a
So
really nice game.
you also like have a really fiery background there. Is like
Yeah.
Uprising and Volcoin and that stuff like your most favorite part of Flesh and Blood?
Yeah, it's pulverized. It's hidden, but it, it was my favorite probably of this poster. But like Guardian player, yeah, I collaborate with my store of my city, and they usually give me the poster, and I like them. It's so amazing.
All right.
Make my house more beautiful, right?
So you try to keep Flesh and Blood around your room and your house too.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are actually here to also discuss in a little bit your deck profile that you were playing at the calling in Antwerp, and that you actually got top eight. So it was Azalea that the hero that you choose. But before we jump into that, I want to touch a little bit more on your experience that you have in trading card games and your past in games in general. So tell me a little bit more about it.
Okay. I have played Magic the Gathering for like 18 years. So with my friends of my city, and it was my first and a unique game that I have played. I have traveled a lot for Magic the Gathering, and it's funny that I see the same judge more or less in the calling, so it's like a familiar content. And with COVID, my best friends stopped to play Magic the Gathering, and in I was in Bruxelles in 2020 before COVID, and it was my last tournament. I didn't enjoy the tournament for the format, for the competitive scene of Magic the Gathering, and I see Flesh and Blood around. I have to say thank you to Pietro Arc, that is the Italian YouTube channel that I have learned the game thanks him. So I start to buy some sealed products, and yeah, I start to play Flesh and Blood. I
And
played my first calling. Okay, see,
yeah,
see.
that was exactly the question I wanted to put up. So, what kind of tournaments did you attend in the past?
I make my first calling in Krakow with 1 month of experience of Flesh and Blood. So it's alone with my friend that doesn't play Flesh and Blood, just for don't make me travel alone. And it was a good experience. I start to know the competitive scene of Flesh and Blood. Of course, I was new of the game, so the tournament was not so good. So I played Calling Madrid, that is Team Blitz, and it was amazing experience. Amazing experience because we were a three people team that every one of us fight for on the same direction, and very very good feeling to make a team in a tournament, right? And I played on San Jose, the Worlds, after make the top four at Italian nationship. And the tournament was not so good for me. It's 6-6, if I remember correctly, or something like that. But San Jose was experience. I were in San Jose with my girlfriend, and we make a 10 days vacation on San Francisco, San Jose. So
Amazing.
it's
Yeah.
amazing experience. And yeah, I played Antwerp last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's an escalation of good feeling. The first tournament was totally new. The second one is okay. Now I start to understand where I am, and the and the world tournament and the Antwerp was the best
Yeah.
experience.
Let's actually touch a little bit more on calling Antwerp because that's where we also met and where you piloted Azalea. So, why did you choose to play her in the first place?
Okay, it's a really good question because my main was Oldhim, and Oldhim make me reach San Jose last year. Oldhim is a solid deck that I really confident to play with it. It was near to reach Living Legend, so probably was my last spot to play it. But I was not ready to play Oldhim in a long tournament, and I expect to find a lot of Lexi and Romai. With Romai, I am sure I was sure that with Oldhim was a long game, exhausted game for my energy and healthy to the tournament. And with Lexi, I have tested it probably not so good, but the score, in my opinion, was not good to make me choose to play Oldhim. So I choose Azalea because I want a deck that can beat Lexi easily. So, and from my test, I see that the matchup is really positive for Azalea. A lot of Lexi player was not ready to play against Azalea, and probably the the short decision, the little decision that they make against Azalea cost the game 99% of the time. So uh, I choose Azalea for this. And I mean, it was my first time that I finish a game that I see the timer 30 minutes left. Oh wow, amazing! I can eat it, I
Yes.
can drink, I can look at my phone. Wow, we told him is not the same.
So,
So yeah.
you are, like you said, you were a passionate Oldhim player, but for many reasons you choose Azalea, and it worked out in the end for you. But are there any cards that stood out at the tournament for you? Any cards that performed really good or underperformed?
Uh, I I expect that Red in the Ledger is the key for a lot of matchup for
Mm.
Azalea. So it's easy for me to say that Red in the Ledger, Codex were the best card of the deck, and I really enjoyed it. But there are two cards that make me make top 8 of the calling that are um, Frailty Trap and Lace with Frailty.
Yeah.
These two cards is totally destroying the Lexi plane, and I have found six Lexi on the Swiss round. So, and I won all of them, and yeah, it's really performed. And in the slowly game like Uzuri, like Viserai, not Kashin Viserai, but the other ones, and the Fable and the Oldhim and Romai. The Fable is so good.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So yeah, this is the two best card, the three best card probably
Yeah.
I have run on at the Colding.
So, were there any cards that you remember that performed not as well as you thought in the beginning when putting them into your deck?
Not really. No, no. I was confident, yeah, of my deck.
Yeah.
My deck, I mean, was good for this meta that I expect to find on Antwerp, and I was lucky that I have found the deck that I was prepared to.
Yes.
So
So I think we need to touch a little bit more on yeah, your matchups. Like you already told
mhm.
me, you faced 6 Lexis and you burned them all.
Yeah,
But tell me a
yeah,
little bit more about your matchups.
yes, yes. Six Lexi, all six Lexi make the same mistake against me, that choose to let me start and activate Voltaire. And this is probably the worst mistake that they can make, because every arrow that I can play turn zero with delay suite, Frialti, Blood Rot, or Inertia is the same, is a really big advantage for me against Lexi. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is the K of the matchup. I have fight against two Viserai, one of day one and one of day two, and
Mhm.
the one of day one was Kashin Viserai, and the second one was normal Viserai, not Kashin, not Royal. And day one I fight against two Dromai, and these are the games that I have lost. I mean, my deck is not so bad against the red line Dromai, because red in the ledger can make what he has to do.
Yeah.
But I have found against two Dromai control, and with Wizard's Respite, Sand Cover, defense, a lot of defense reaction. So the matchup is really, really bad. Especially the second Dromai that play Tomeltai on turn 3 and destroy my school bone is GG for me. These I remember perfectly. And I played against Briar. Briar is not a good matchup. Um, Sincerely, probably I have won against Briar because my opponent doesn't make a lot of tests against Azalea, because
Mhm.
infecting host and is so good against me, and Codex of Frailty is not so good against him, because he can respawn CNC and infecting host. So yeah, I play against Islander and I win, and I play against the um Azalea of the Team Poland. That, if I remember correctly, his score was 8-0. They won, and I win against him the last round to make top 8. So
Mhm.
mirror is so close and so random sometimes, but yeah, I win it, so it's good.
So
Yeah.
you already told me that you really enjoyed the tournament, and you also think that this was the tournament you enjoyed the most so far. So why is that the case? Why did you enjoy the tournament so much?
Because my teammates, we were from Arezzo, 10 people, and this is a big trouble. With all my friends were with me, and I had their support, and Antwerp was a big, really nice city. I like them. I like it, and the calling is a lot of. When I enter to the calling Antwerp, I see a lot of organization from the side event, a lot of judge. Uh, Everything is in the right place. The toilet is so clean. The food was good.
Yeah.
The room was so big. A lot of friends, and because calling, I make a lot of new friends, new experience,
Yeah.
and the group of the Discord that I have met on COVID time, that finally I can see in the face to face and speak with them. So yeah, I have really enjoyed for this part of the community of the Flesh and Blood.
That's a thing I hear again and again, and I experience also myself on the tournaments how amazing the community is. And I think that's a really key point for us all to meet here in this hobby and then dive deeper into it. So
Yeah.
you told us a little bit about your matchups already, but I actually want to talk a little bit more about your top 8 match and how it went in the end. Tell us more about it.
Okay. In top 8, I fight against the 7 Lexi of the tournament, and after 6 win, of course, I lost. But the game was so close. He made the same mistake of the Lexi Swiss round players. So I start, I activate Azalea hidden without know what is on the top of the deck. Is a Rain Razor, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Rain Razor. And I say pass. He activated Voltaire, and this is a big mistake because if I have a good hand and not 4 cards that are 3 Red Arrow and Ravenous Rubble in hand, but for example, +3 and Inertia, +3 and Frailty, Red in the Ledger, Remorseless, I can play after activate Voltaire and load the first arrow. I played the Rain Razor, destroy my arms, loaded an arrow, shot, Snapdragon, shot. I can do it 2-0, right? And he can't block because he has only 2 cards, and I take 10 damage, a lot of disruption. But I have Rain Razor and only 1 arrow red, so yeah, I give it 8 damage with no disruption. So the advantage was not so big. The game was close. I remember that at the last round, the life was he 5 life, and I have 24 life, and I have 4+3 in hand, and with two opt. So okay, I say I take everything now, and I dominate my last
Yeah.
arrow for the win, right? But he played double Razor and Trophakine, and the math say me that I have to block with everything, of all hand, all equip. So I lost everything: Schoolboy, Tonic, 4 cards, and I try to make Azalea return without know what is on the top, and make some damage with this tactic, but it's not was not enough. And
Yeah.
if we played only one Rain Razor and of a kind, I can go to 2 or 3 if I remember correctly. But this turn he menace to me 36 damage, so a lot
Yeah.
for only with two.
Can't
Yeah,
do much about that.
it happened. Fortunately, it happened in top 8 and not in Swiss round. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it is.
so it's you see some more potential in Azalea, or do you think you would play this list that we show in a few seconds again?
Uh, you speak about the next meta game, or
Yes.
um, without Hold'em, theoretically, one of the not good, very good matchup is away. But
Yeah.
I am little scared about the Roomblade because just now Azalea is not a good spot against Viserai and Briar, and I see the matchup from the Azalea player, right? So
Yeah.
it's funny because everyone that play Briar and the Viserai say me that I am in a good spot, but my feeling is the opposite. So 50-50, it make everyone happy. No, I mean Roomblade as Karionask, and Karionask is a very big problem for Azalea because if I dominate, for example, Red in the Ledger for 11 or for 8, that make me the tempo to to swing the race from my side, he can block with Karunask and Grasp or Crown and one card from hand, and
Yeah.
he stopped my my little advantage. So we have to see if if we speak about chain with Karunask, I say that okay, it's not playable.
Yeah.
But maybe the new Room Blade is not so explosive like chain, but it's like Viserai. So one on attack, one big attack, and the arms. I can do it. I can play against this type of Room Blade. It
Yeah.
depends. And Prism, uh, same same. Same same reason. So if we speak about the old Prism, I say okay, we can't play Azalea.
Right into it. We see the equipment on the top, and I think that's a really good start for you to introduce your deck.
Yeah, this is the main main equip. Of course, Skullbone, Fayandal, and Bull Ice Breakers that are main deck. The only equip that I change game by game could be Snapdragon with Perch and Dead Dealer with Dreadbore.
Yeah.
So it's very important to start with the arsenal every turn to activate Skullbone and try to dominate the arrow. This is a very good thing to do. So, for example, if an Azalea player can play double +3 an arrow and doesn't make arsenal, or only 1+3 arrow and make arsenal, play only 1+3 and make arsenal. It's more important the arsenal for the next round that the +3 in the turn that you play. So, of course, Fayandal is must. We know everyone know Fayandal. Fayandal can activate the dealer with no cards in hand, with
Yeah.
only one arrow in hand. So it's so gross, so good. Yeah,
And Crow's Nest is basically also a staple now for Azalea.
yeah, of course. Sometimes it's so good with, of course, Deadeye and
Oh,
with
yeah.
Drill Shot. Uh, uh, Infecting Ghost Shot is so expensive to play with a Crown Nest because you have to pay one for the arrow and one for the crown nest, so it's not so cheap to pay. But there is only one matchup that I have to cut crowns. That is Islander. I didn't make this at calling, but I need to do this next time if I fight against Islander. It's so gross because if you activate Azalea and you have crown, your opponent can react after check which arrow is.
Yes.
So it's so bad for Azalea if you don't have the resource, right, for
Mm.
play the frostbite. So it's better don't play it.
Okay. And also a centerpiece of your equipment is, of course, the headpiece, the Skullbone cross wrap, because you already mentioned in the Tommeltai matchup, in the Droma matchup, it's really difficult when this piece of equipment gets destroyed and you actually lose that much value in the upcoming turns.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is your main lineup for the equipment that you basically play most of the time. And then we come to your main deck, actually the main cards that you play. And
Yes.
I can see right off the bat here you have 57 cards in your main deck. So what kind of ratios did you choose and why did you choose them?
Um, I choose the best arrow that make this the good work against the a lot of matchup. So of course 9 bot shot for the go again. If you have bot shot in hand, and it's very important to put it in arsenal because the next round you can menace go again and that dealer to be activated after. So it's so annoying for your opponent to block Bolt shot. But if you play lay sweet and Bolt shot, you are pretty sure that some disrupt effect will be on the opposite side in the next round. Drill Shot is the one of the best card to play in early game to put -1 counter on the equip and let your red in the ledger eat next time and in the mid and late game. It's very, very important, especially against Dash, against Croomblade, uh, against Oldhim for Rampart. So Drill Shot is one of the best cards of the deck. And it costs 0. So, for example, when you have an arsenal and you have a knock, the specialization that searching your deck, and you have a +3, without card to pitch, you can take a drill shot and make everything. It's so nice. Infecting Shot is one of the best card. I put Infecting Shot with Remorseless because they make probably the same damage against a lot of matchup because Bloodred Pox make 2 damage and Remorseless can make more damage but less damage also, so more or less are the same. Of course, Remorseless is one of the best card against Guardian and Uzuri that play a defense reaction because, for example, Bravo doesn't have Crown of Seeds, so like Holding. So usually put the defense reaction in Arsenal, right? For block efficiently the dominate attack. Remorseless, it's so good against him. I play all the lay suite, so 3 leads with Inertia, 3 leads with Broadcloth. To Melting Point, Melting Point is one of the cards that probably I didn't play it a lot. Usually, only when I have a lot of resources to do that. But I use it more of time for block. Block tree
Okay.
is it's important.
Yes.
It's really important, and everyone at the calling say me that I block a lot, and they doesn't expect that Azalea block a lot, but I like block with Azalea. Azalea is not a hero that you have to take everything and go face, take carry and go face. You have to manage your tempo, right? Your life. Your life is so important for Azalea because you need to have the life a little higher to switch with red in the ledger. But to let you switch with the ledger, you have to keep all the damage this turn. And if your life is near to the to 0, it's a big problem. So I like to block efficiently with Melting Point, of course. 1 mana +4 is so good, but you need resources to do that. So it's not easy. Premeditate is one of the best, one of the top 3 cards of the deck. It's amazing because, like I said before, it's really, really, really important for Azalea to end the turn with the arsenal, and the Premeditate can let you do this, right, with the dominate. So good. It's a +3 and may take arsenal for the next round and go on. So nice, so nice. And there is Azalea in the peak, right? In the art.
Yes.
So.
Right. It's meant for her.
Okay, Ravenous Rabble and Red Neglect Path are important for the 2 different reasons. Ravenous Rabble can and Red can show your top cards after Schoolbone, and this is so good because, for example, if you need to dominate and you put your top cards on the bottom, you have Red Neglect Path and Ravenous Rabble to show your top, and you know that if you don't have Arsenal, you know that it could be a +3 that you draw with the dealer, or if you need an arrow, you can think about if it's lethal damage to destroy the arms, load the arrow, so don't draw a card for the dealer, and play Azalea and dominate attack and win the game. So see the first card of the deck for Azalea, of course, is really, really important. and with only 9 blue in the deck and 12 yellow in the deck, if I remember correctly. Ravenous Rabble most of the time is 4 damage, and is so good against Dromai also, because against Dromai you have to remove Miragai and Kiloria. No, sorry, yes, Kiloria. They
Yeah.
are the two Frost Dragon that, and Ravenous is perfect to do this. So
All right.
yeah,
So then we come to one of the MVPs of the deck, Red in the Ledger.
yeah, Randy the Ledger. Yeah, like I said, Randy the Ledger is the principal reason because this deck exists, right? Because uh, you can dominate easily with Azalea, and Riding the Ledger is so good to take you the tempo, maintain the tempo. Um, Against some deck is really good. Against other deck is not so relevant, but it's good. For example, you can image Bravo. If Fred in the Ledger he can't use Bravo ability, so he can't dominate, for example. It's so good. Or against Oldhim in the mid-late game, probably Oldhim have Tyrasander or Ruse or a Lightning Strike, and I mean it's not the big value, but he is very good against everyone. So I love this card. They suggest that I can give uh, the the players is don't play right in the Ledger nearly game. Is not one of the probably white mistake that maybe someone can do is play right in the Ledger nearly game when the opponent has a lot of equip. uh, you lost one right in the ledge because he blocked it and you don't give the temp, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you have it, you can shot with the ledge. It's not a fault, but don't spend codex or knock to do this with your opponent that has equip. You just attack for with double plus 3 is 11. It's fine. He has to put his hand and the tempo is yours, right? And you have another free turn to attack. So yeah, he's one of the best cards and
Yeah,
one of the best art of the deck. So
it is. So we then also come to a card that shows Azalea in it, and it's one of the stronger cards for sure. So tell us a little bit more
Remorseless.
about Remorseless.
Remorseless is one of the best cards that you can do against Lex in the early game. In the early game, Remorseless is so good. Against Lex is so good. Against every ninja, every deck that makes a lot of action in his turn is good. It's a perfect side spot against Guardian and Romai. So because he can't play defense action from Arsenal, so he's so good. And yeah, uh, I like Remorseless, of course.
All right, and then Seek and Destroy, also a card that shows Azalea in the artwork.
Yeah,
How do you feel
it's a
about
lord.
this card?
It's a lord deck. No, okay. Secret Strike is a simple. The first 5 and 6 copies of Lace with Inertia, but better because you destroy the cards and the opponent doesn't put in the bottom, and sometimes could be really relevant. So yeah, yeah, it's one of the best pump to play.
Then actually, I was asked a lot about your choice to put in one snatch. That's an interesting.
One snatch. Yeah, I have tested a lot. Azalea, the first version was with 3 Latin Strike that I don't play. Snatch is perfect in monocopies to menace in a lot of spots For example, against Romai, you can shot the dragon, draw a card, and you don't lose your card value in hand. It's really, really good again when you play Bounty Shot for 10 go again with the dealer already used, or for a 7 go again. It's the same with only one card in hand. With three codex already played, the opponent can't play against Snatch. So he will block Voltage Shot for don't let you reload your arsenal and shot your last card, for example. And you can attack with Snatch with for 4, you draw cards, and you make arsenal for the last round, next turn. So it's so good. Snatch is so good against with Snapdragon, of course. It's one of the best synergy that why I
Yeah.
play Mono Snatch. So it's a mind tricky card also, because if you activate the dealer, right, and you play uh, you play Schoolborn, you opt one, you look to the top of the card, you put on top, and you play Snatch. Probably the opponent doesn't let you draw the card, right? Because
Yeah.
you choose to keep
Don't
it.
want you
So
to.
if I hit, I draw it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tricky. It's yeah. So I like it. Of course, when I cut off the Snapdragon to run the perch grapples, I cut the snatch
Yeah.
also because it doesn't go again on the card. But yeah, the most
Yeah.
of time it's really really relevant.
Are there also situations where you start with Snatch in the chain and then crack Snapdragons to keep going?
Yes, yes. Especially when I have Arsenal, 3 cards in hand, and the Arsenal is a bottom shot, is the very big turn that I can play it. It happened that I doesn't start with Snatch and I keep it for the second attack or the last one, depends. For example, when you have Codex, you make a Ponder token, right? So you don't need to draw the card of Snatch if it's not
Yeah.
relevant. So if I have Codex as Snatch, I start with Snatch because the card that Snatch can draw doesn't don't will be the answer, right? I probably want to play it. So,
Yeah.
but without Codex, I'll keep it for the last attack, right?
Yeah. And also, what comes up in Flesh and Blood again and again is that, like, we see these very big decks. We have like over 60 cards that you could play in the main deck. But you need to keep in mind that you, in most of the games, see every card in your deck at least once. And so you will at some point see your Snatch, or you can, like when you pitch stack, decide on, okay, do I want to have the Snatch in the early or do I want to see it in the late game? So
No. For example, against Oldhim, if I have Snatch in the early game, I pitch it for the
yeah.
late game. With bottom shot, Razor, Snatch, I try to set up the a very big turn against Oldhim. Oldhim is not a
Yeah.
problem anymore, but it was at Antwerp.
So then, like, one of the strongest cards at the moment in the game, Codex of Frailty.
Codex of Reality, yeah. The best card I have played in Flesh and Blood, probably. For this type of deck, especially for this type of deck, because like I said, you need to make arsenal every turn, and the Ponder token is so big in Azalea, more than Lexi. So Codex let you play all the pump attack without thinking about your arsenal. You are free to play everything. Play your hand, make it a lot of damage. The most damage you can do, everything. And with Tunic, you can play again with Reading the Ledger, with Remorseless, with so gross, so gross. And the Frailty token is so big against a lot of fear, right? For example, Lexi. So yeah.
Makes it also more consistent, like you already told us with Frailty against Lexi. This is like one more kit in the toolbox to make sure you get the Frailty on the board.
Yes, exactly. And this is against Lexi. One game, if I remember correctly, I played Codex Turn Zero. So to let him fight it token and take less damage, less round. So big.
Yeah.
The
All
die.
right. Then you also had some words already for Dead Eye. Do you want to tell a little bit more when this card comes up? What actually do you gain from it?
The die is it's one of the top five of the deck because it's +3 that can make a lot of disrupt in the opposite end with aim counter, but block 3. And block 3, I like it. Like a holding player, when I can block a card that block 3, it's so good. Like a Metin Point, the same. So if I can block with the die, if I can block with Metin Point, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. All right. So then, like a card that.
My beauty. Plague Eye. Okay. The story is funny because already all start that I had two Razor and I missed the tree. I speak about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And when I open one box of Outsider and I open Plague Hive and I say, "Oh, okay, I play one copy of Plague Hive and I see. I am literally in love with this card. In love. It's amazing. Because in a lot of matchup, slowly matchup like Dorinthea, Uzuri, Bravo, Oldim, Dromai, you play this card a lot of times. It's not only a reason of the pitch stack because you have knock that you can search a deck, you can shuffle the deck, right? So it's very relevant when you play Pox or Inertia to Oldim, or it's so big. And another reason that is all the three effects are so good against Lexi. There are no miss. Inertia is good, Pox is good, Freight is so good. So for me, in this meta, in the Antwerp meta, there was no reason to doesn't run Black Hive.
Yeah. So there were also no games where you decided to side
No,
out Plague Hive. Yeah.
no, no. I like it too much.
Yeah.
I
So keep
remember,
an eye out for
I
this card
remember,
in the
I
future
remember
too.
against against Wizard, it was at one. He shot me with one mana left, and I pitched for Arcane Barrier, and he bring Pox, and he died. So when it happened, it's so good. Well, you have to love it. You have to love it.
Wow. So a card, but actually you choose to run only at two is Rain Razors here in the main deck. So it's a card that can
Yes,
be really powerful, as you already told us.
Ray Razor. I have only two, but my opponent doesn't know, and this make the difference. So if I see the first Ray Razor, I am not scared to play with the first Ray Razor. The second Ray Razor, I try to set up it with a bolt and shot to make a three attack in a turn. But without the third Ray Razor, I am pretty safe that I will not draw the third Ray Razor because it is not exist in my deck. My opponent doesn't know. And in this round, it happened a lot of times that my opponent overblock because they are scared for the tertiary razor. Searching my graveyard to say, oh, one red razor is missing, and they were scared. But so yeah, of course, against Odin, the setup is different. So I don't play them. I pitch stack them for the second part of the game, the late game. But in a mirror aggro matchup, Toure Razon are fine. You don't need the third one.
Also, you can't block with it. So as an Odin player, you don't really like it in this part.
Exactly. Exactly. For this reason, I play Plague Hive instead of the Turtle Horizon, because I doesn't want the 4 cards that doesn't block. Oh
Yes.
no, what the hell?
So then the 2 last cards in your main deck are actually blue ones, and we start off with Knock the Death Wither.
Knock is it's so good because you can search for the arrow you need. A lot of times it will be read in the ledger, but it happened at a turn 0, it will be drill shot. So a lot of times I search for drill shot in turn 0 because I dominate on 7 or 10 if I am lucky, dominate. And I put a -1 counter in a equip of my opponent, and I am safe. I have put 7 damage in a face, or 5 if I block with equip. I put -1 counter in a equip, and probably with this -1 counter, my next red in the ledger will hit. So if I have knock in my first hand, I am happy. Totally.
Yeah.
And this is a blue
Do
peach.
you?
This is not a block. I never block with the knock.
Yeah.
It's a peach
It's
or
too good.
a
Yes.
card. It's too gross.
That's what I think about this card too. Like, we don't really have that many cards in Flesh and Blood that lets you actually search that freely. So, do you think this kind of mechanic is a really advantage that Azalea has here?
For Azalea is a little advantage, yeah, because knock um, let you dominate with no risk and
Yeah.
dominate the arrow that you want and reload. So reload is so big because if you play a bottom shot with the dealer and your dealer is already activate, opponent doesn't thinking about knock that can reload and Azalea dominate,
Yeah.
right? So he take bottom shot and we see that it will arrive a dominate at big attack. So yeah, so big. I realize now that I play all the cards with Azalea in the art, right?
Yes, you have
It's a puzzle. I see only now.
to. So then we have 3 copies of Spire Sniping Blue here too.
Yeah, it's probably the best pitch blue that I can run in the deck because block 3 and the effect is so big with if you can end the turn with this in Arsenal, you can start the next round with Schoolborn and you look 2 and opt 1 after the look 2. So it's big. And it's so good when you if you have to manage the lethal damage to the opponent. It's so big when you destroy the arms, so you can put him if you have already activated the dealer, of course. You can look 2, and if there is an arrow, you can play at Azalea and shot the domain. So it happens and it works very well.
All right, so these were all the cards in the main deck. Then we can actually come to your sideboard here, where you have 17 cards in there.
Yep. I play 5-7 cards in the main deck because the sideboard is only for Dromai, Lexi, Oldhim, and just I have to add the 3 cards to reach the 60. Depends I have up front, Lace with Frailty or Release the Tension. This is the normal that I do, right? If I have to in some matchup I prefer put the Frailty token. In the other matchup I prefer to avoid to my opponent to play defense reaction from Arsenal. So this is the big difference. And I run 5 pop for Tromai because I have tested a lot with in my team. In my team, there is Daniele that play Dromai. It was 7-0-1 day 1 of Antwerp, so it was very in a good spot. Unfortunately, day 2 was not good for him. But I see that with only 3 pop, I have to be too lucky to find it in the right spot. With 5 and is different because the ratio that I can draw it is more higher, and Battering Bolt, of course, is one of the best cards because it's not only a pop, is so good against other matchup also. And yeah, for example, Dorinthea, Oldhim is so good. So, but Prince Spray, yeah, is a pop for Dromai. And the other pop is so good. It's a Down and Dirty. Down and Dirty is so good. Is for this reason I ran 5 because with 5 pop that you can't put in Arsenal, there is a risk that if you draw a card for the Ponder token and you have a pop, you don't want to put in Arsenal, right? Because you have to block the dragon. Down and Dirty avoid this because if I draw it with the Ponder, I am happy to put it in the Arsenal because I draw 4 cards and I can block from Arsenal, right? And it is so good because with Codex also, if I need Codex and a pop, I can choose to play Codex to put down and dirty in arts and then pass the turn, and then the next round I can pop again. Time is from my side, and I start to attack again. So down and dirty is so good against Romai, and I am in a good spot against aggro Romai, redline Romai. It's not a bad spot. The bad spot was control Romai. That is different. So I have tested a lot against the red line, like I said, and the matchup is little in our favor, in my opinion.
Then you have one Endless Arrow too here.
Yes, one Endless Arrow. I put it in against the matchup that I want the cushion arrow. And for example, if I against Roma is good because if I need an arrow that can kill a dragon and it's only arrow that I have in hand, unless it's perfect because come back in hand, snap dragon, go again, I can reload it and attack again, right? And it's so good against the frostbite also.
I think
because can you hear me?
Yes, but I think now it's back up, right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. It's good against the frostbite also because if you have Arctic encapsulation with 3 frostbite, for example, you can pitch 3, and 3 can be all your hand, right? For attack with handless, but if it come back in hand, you can make an art set for the next round. So there is some good spot. It's not a mandatory card for the deck. I have to say that. But there is one copy that I like it, and I have really enjoyed it at Antwerp. So it's fine.
There's also a question I got asked why you choose not to put in the card, and that one is Heat Seeker. So can you touch a little bit on that arrow? Did you test with it? Why did you choose not to put it in?
Because Heat Seeker put the card face up in the arsenal, so I can't play with Skullbone, Opt, and if an arrow, I don't have the double arsenal. So if it's an arrow, I have to pump it or use the Snapdragon. Of course, I can't make some really tricky. I mean, I can play Azalea hidden without know what is on the top and try to tease that something special, but yeah, 1 mana. I mean, 1 mana, 5 attack arrow in Azalea is not so cheap. So you can't play a lot of them, and you have to play the best one. Probably the best ones is Remorseless and the Legend infecting us. So there is no spot probably for its Seeker.
Yeah. But you did find a spot for the Dreadbore. So you already talked a little bit about it. Let's actually dive a little bit deeper. Like, when do you side in Dreadbore?
Dreadbore is only against Oldhim and against Arachne. I mean, Arachne is not very played, but exists. So if you fight against Arachne, play Dreadbore. Trust me. I mean, I was not sure to play Azalea before Dreadbore at Antwerp, because Antonio, another really good player that my team that make day two also in Antwerp, play Oldhim, and I literally 0-100 against him before Dreadbore. So I have tried to set up the bot and shot big turn at the late game with the dealer, but he fatigue me every time. With Dreadbore, I I've reached the 50-50 matchup against Oldhim. And this is so good because if I am good against Lexi, I am 50-50 against Oldhim. I have only the bad draw my matchup in the top three decks. I am fine. I am fine. And Dreadbore is probably the principal reason that let me run Azalea at the tournament. And this is so good. The mind game with Red Bull is totally different with the dealer. You have to change your mindset totally against Oldhim because it's very very important. Start with Arsenal. You don't have the card of the dealer that you draw, right? So you have to start with Arsenal, opt and find the arrow in the top. If there is not arrow, no problem. You just make attack with the +3, for example, just 8, it's fine. Don't play +3, +3, +3 in a not dominant attack. It's not sense. No sense, no damage
Yeah.
will take it from all them. But if you bring an arrow on top, that will make the game because you have remorseless that you have to keep for the late game. It's very, very important. And there is attention. You have 6 cards that doesn't allow your opponent to play defensive action from Arsenal, and red boards say that you can play defensive action from hand. So some damage you have to take it, and it's fine that the 12 rounds I listened to me. There was Michael Fang against the um, Pablo Pintor team Azalea. I don't remember the name now. And he was at Azalea with Dreadbore, and he won very easily against Michael Fang. So not against the random player, against Michael Fang. So it works. Dreadbore is so good against Oldhim.
Yeah.
It was. Oldhim is not a problem anymore, but we'll see.
Yeah.
in, in Antwerp, was so good.
So are there also, besides Dreadbore, any other like weapons, like bows that you consider in the future for Azalea?
Not at the moment. Sincerely, I think that the dealer is the best one.
Yes.
Dreadbore is not so hidden spot in the future because I mean it happened that without holding probably some deck that usually was not so played like Riptide, for example. If Riptide will be more played, Dreadbore was it will be so good. So I take it in my sideboard just to see what will happen in the future.
Yeah. All right. Then, like the last card that you have in here, actually, the last two cards are Frailty Trap. You
MVP,
already said, like, this card is amazing against Lexi and
amazing.
it won you the games. So,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really, really amazing. It's a block tree, and yeah, I am already happy. and and it's really, really tricky because if your opponent play Voltaire and give a +1 to Bolter shot and attack for you for 5, Bolter shot says that he has go again because the power is more than the base, right? If you play Freighty Trap and Freighty appear on the opposite side, the attack comes 4, he loses go again, it loses, he has to destroy Snapdragon or he has lost the turn. And probably he will lose the turn because he usually doesn't destroy Snapdragon to me with a Freighty token in the in the field, right? And it's so good because if you have played Codex and you have already a Fighty token in the opposite side and you draw Fighty Trap with double Fighty token, it's it's game. It's game. I guess Lex it's game because it's like all the mirror. It's a race, right? If I have right in the ledger that take time, Fighty Trap that take time, and I have already every time I have the time to attack you and not vice versa, is totally make the difference. Totally make the difference. So it's so good.
All right. So then actually the last card is Perch Grapplers.
Yeah, Patch Carpets is good against the matchup that I want to block more. That probably the game is more slowly and you need to block efficiently. For example, Dorinthea, just in mind, one of the I remember now. So, but the effect is so good. Don't forget that it's not a block 2. Sometimes you with perch you can activate it and give go again to your arrow, and if you have endless arrow in hand and you draw it, you can literally destroy your opposite plane because your opponent that doesn't can't thinking about this. So if you have already played 3 cards and you have only 2 cards, and he block with 3 cards, and he has only one cards left. Okay, I destroy perch clappers, I load arrow, shot comes in hand, destroy bracers, done. A lot of damage, and I like it. So, but yeah, most of the time, if I play this card, is to block absently. I usually I play perch clappers against room raid also,
Okay.
because a room raid is not like Lexi or Ninja a race matchup. It, a room blade with a higher price is not different. It has a lot of strong hit effect. Usually, Azalea wants block with only 1 card, so one card alone doesn't stop Force of Nature turn or Mauvrion Red turn. Okay, you need 2 cards or 1 card and patch, and it's fine. If we play, for example, a 4 attack with Force of Nature and it's a 5 attack and they fit draw, I will be happy to put the 3 blocks and the patch. It doesn't allow your opponent to draw a card.
Yes.
Same with the Mauvron and Shrill, right? If you play Mauvron red in a spot that I have to maintain the tempo and the race to my favorite, I will be happy to put 2 cards and perch. And with perch at block 2, you don't need the 2, 3 block cards. You don't only one. You have 3, 2, 2. So you block a seven shrill efficiently. So for this reason, I run perch against room raid also.
All right. So are there any additions you have for the deck list that you want to touch on?
No, I think that I have already said everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then I will get us again big on the screen. So actually give us a little bit of an outlook on the future. Like, which tournaments do you want to attend in the future? Will we see you at Worlds?
Yeah, of course. I will go with Antonio, the holding player, but he doesn't know what he play now in Birmingham. So we will go in Birmingham also to pick the calling. Yeah, and
Yes.
yeah, national of course, and we'll see where will be the words. We don't know. So
Yes. It will be exciting.
yeah.
So we both will see us again at Worlds, I think. I'm not in Birmingham, but I wish you best of luck there and lots of fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
And
much.
what do you look forward like when it comes to Flesh and Blood in the next month? I mean, Dusk Till Dawn, already some cards are spoiled. What thoughts do you have besides like the Runeblade matchup for Azalea for that?
If a room raid will be a not bad matchup for Azalea, probably I try to stay with Azalea because I have tested it a lot with my team for Antwerp, and I really know the deck. And probably with that, without Odin, the deck will change, of course. Somehow Rome probably will be more relevant than now, and I am a little scared about Prism, sincerely, but we'll see. The spoilers say that a lot of specialization are spoiled, so it's an expansion that give boost to each year, right? So the meta was will be random in the first side. So I try to reach Birmingham at the best, but yeah, it will be not easy. So
Yeah.
a lot of work to do. Yeah.
So actually, I'm really curious to hear because you already touched a little bit on the team that you are playing with. Like, how
Yeah.
are you going with the testing? Like, how often do you test? How is your routine with playing, and how many games do you get in for a tournament?
Okay. In my city, I was the first and the only player, but fortunately, I grab a lot of friends that I like from Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, that are very. There are two factions, we can say, one of more competitive players and one of random player. So it's totally fine. With the competitive players, we have played 2 days in person at week for a lot of hours, and on Talishar sometimes in the that time of the week without work, with work, family. It's not
Yeah.
so easy, and yeah, the name is Pamel 52100. That is the Arezzo zip code. So it's our zip code, and I have the logo if you want to see. You want to
Oh
see?
yeah, show it for sure.
Today is arrived the playmat that I'll play on Birmingham.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that looks amazing. I saw that logo in person on your shirt, but it looks amazing here on the playmat too.
Yeah, yeah,
Great
so
job.
amazing.
Did you
Yeah.
commission an artist for the logo, or did
Yes.
someone from the team? Yeah.
Yes. We have commissioned the logo. We say, okay, we love Pamel because the and he make a very good work in my opinion. The color, the font, it's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be happy to test again for Birmingham. And I mean, it's not only a competitive reason to make the team, is to make a community friend. And I am happy to share the time with these guys because it's so nice, so smart. So yeah, it's friends before player, right? So
Yeah.
it's so good to spend time with them. So yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so are there any shout outs you want to give at the end here?
Yeah, like I said, thanks to my team. That without them, I can't reach the top 8 at Antwerp. And play what you like I can say, because in my Italian video with Pietro in YouTube channel, I say this every video, and when I make the tire list, in Fashion Blood, every deck can win, and this is so amazing. I comes from Magic that tire 0 probably doesn't never lose against tire 3, and there is something uh, the bad feeling where when you can't win and you
Yeah.
don't draw lands or something like that. But in Flesh and Blood, if you master your favorite hero, you can literally win. And this Road to National season say that. If you say which hero won on the top pot of calling, Reiner. Was the
Yes.
tier 4. No one play Reiner top pot of calling. So if you uh, if you play very well your hero, and you the suggestion that I can give the new players, but not only the new players, doesn't change the deck a lot. Don't let you be transportation for the meta game, for the goal that you have to win offshore. If not, is a drama. It's not a drama. It's
Yeah.
only only learning game by game, tournament by tournament, and you can reach your target, your goal with your favorite deck with 100% for sure.
Yes. Yeah, that's like one of the most amazing parts about Flesh and Blood, right?
I love it.
Like, so there's so much diversity and there's such a healthy community. So I also want to give a shout out just to the Flesh and Blood community here for sure. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
So Stefano, thank you so much for taking the time and show us your deck in depth here. And also, I want to shout out my Patreon, who will see this video early on, and for supporting these kind of videos and also the videos from the calling in Antwerp. And I'm really looking forward to also see you again, Stefano, at Worlds, and we will see
100%.
where it ends up then. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, my friend. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I have really enjoyed to spend time to you with you in Antwerp, and now you are the best.
Thank you so much. So see you again, and thank you all for joining in, and till the next video.
Bye.